camper. Oh my gosh. Looks like it probably runs great. Got brakes. It's better than I thought.
That was amazing. Super easy.
Did you guys lose Maggie?
She's walking behind us. She was walking.
She's like, yeah, I'll pass.
Oh my god. That was so easy.
Does it have brakes, babe?
Yeah, it has emergency brake.
That seemed like.
Hell yeah. The tow was great. Nice and smooth.
Just in case anyone forgot.
Yeah.
She's a real looker.
Party begins.
Oh yeah, on the steering wheel. Paul screwed the steering
It
wheel.
was a little crunchy up here. I think there's like maybe a speedo case. Oh, it's something dragging. It sounded like something dragging to me back there.
Oh, there's like an entire wire system hanging out the back.
Super.
Anyway, I'm gonna go back to brushing my teeth.
Oh my god.
So excited?
That was amazing, huh?
You so excited?
I am so excited.
Let me see you
It's such
excited.
a good Beetle.
Can I see your excited face? Oh, dance. Say dance. Yeah. Even better.
It's such a good Beetle.
Does she have a name yet?
No, not yet.
Okay. See you in 6 months.
Hello everybody and welcome to this episode about my new abandoned Volkswagen Beetle. Ah! A couple of days here in Northern California, I saw a Beetle down the road. There was this abandoned Beetle just sitting there on the side of the road. It's on BLM property, abandoned on public land. I watched that Beetle for a few weeks and there was a tow notice on it when I first saw it. The tow notice had a date on it, and I waited for over 2 weeks beyond that date. And in the state of California, they can tow a car after 10 days. So I called the DMV, and I called the police, and I called everybody that I needed to, and I verified the VIN on it, and it was not stolen. It's not a salvage title. So I asked the DMV if I could just assume ownership of this vehicle, and they said yes, that you can tow it, and that there's a process to go about claiming an abandoned car in the state of California. So I snagged it. It's in a safe location where the car is not going to get crushed. It is a great car. I can't believe that somebody would abandon it. But I guess if they just don't have the resources or whatever, they didn't have the title, they just figured I'll just throw it away. But man, I am super excited. This car is awesome. It's a 1972 standard Beetle. It's got like no rust on it. Like when I say no rust, I'm telling you, it has no rust. There's one spot that's under the battery tray that needs to be repaired. But other than that, I cannot find another problem spot on the entire car. Everything on the car is so nice. I'm going to go outside and show you around a little bit. So here's where the car is going to stay for a little while. I just freaking love it. It's very cute. So in order to get it here, I had to improvise the steering wheel. That's its current steering wheel. It has no brakes on the floor, but the emergency brake did work, so I was able to slow the car with the emergency brake and steer with a piece of wood that I screwed onto the steering column. See, even as I'm looking down here, that channel is all in very good shape. That's kind of unusual for a Beetle. A lot of times there's a lot of rust in there, and this one is so clean. It's pretty unbelievable. I've always had plans of towing a vehicle behind the bread truck. Whether it be a Volkswagen bus or a Volkswagen Beetle or a Geo Metro or a Geo Tracker. There's a lot of cool things that I'd like to tow behind the bread truck. That way I have a vehicle that I can park the bread truck and go out adventuring in that vehicle. And this might just be a great little adventure vehicle. What a lot of people don't understand is even though a Beetle is two-wheel drive, it is extremely capable off-road. If this thing can't get through something, then all you need is like the world's tiniest winch that you could put in the front and be able to winch yourself out of a lot of situations. A Beetle can go a lot of places. Another great thing about it is that it's light. It should be very easy to tow. The transmissions are set up just fine for towing. You see people flat towing these on the ground all the time. And all it takes is a cheap tow bar that goes onto the front suspension, and you can put it on, take it off, like within 1 minute. It's very easy. And I just need to add a trailer hitch to the bread truck. There was a bunch of junk stacked in the Beetle, but this is one of the things that I kept for now, is a seagull on a piece of wood. Make a nice hood ornament. What do you think? Another thing about this car is that my first thought was to make it a Baja Bug, because usually you take wrecked cars that are rusted out or whatever, you chop off stuff that is rusted out and you can make it a Baja Bug really cheap and easy. But this one, people, it's a lot of times they don't understand this when I say this kind of thing, but this one is too clean to do that to. This one's too clean to make it a Baja Bug. I mean, the value of these fully restored is still not crazy. You know, you're talking about the $10,000 to $15,000 range. Depending on how nice you go, it could be more than that, but they're just not worth all that much, but they are cool vehicles. This one looks a little bit different than the earlier ones that I'm really way more into, but this one still has its own charms. They pretty much remain the same. A lot of things about them are the same. The upright motor, the front suspension, the rear torsion tubes, transmission layout, floor pans, all of that stuff is pretty much the same, all for like 30 years. This one being a 72 is really not that valuable, but it will be in a few years. I mean, it's already in the $15,000 range when it's restored. It just doesn't seem right to me to chop the back of the car off and to put in crazy suspension and make it a crazy Baja vehicle when it already is pretty good just the way it is. I'm thinking a little bit of upgrade of the suspension to lift it. On a VW, it's really pretty easy. Some nice fat Baja wheels for it. And maybe just unbolt the fenders. I could take the front and the rear fenders off, bolt on some fiberglass Baja fenders, and you don't do any harm. You can just set these fenders aside and put the fiberglass ones on to run with big tires. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, is a little bit beefy, a little bit off-road, you know, like a Baja, but not all chopped up, you know? They call those Class 11 racers. If you like think about, like, you know, the classic cars that, like, I guess Herbie would have raced in or something. Class 11 is a full frame, standard layout vehicle that you're just setting up for the off-road. That's kind of that's more the direction I think this one's going to go. I don't know. I just want to have some fun with it. Someone's done a little bit of body work to it. It's not too bad, I guess, but I'm guessing I'm just going to probably sand this all off. I'm wondering if maybe I can get back to the red original underneath, because that red is kind of a perfect color for my truck. It matches the bread truck logo pretty well. It's a tomato red color, and it does seem to go pretty well with the Beetle. What do you think? It is kind of covered with a lot of primer, so that's a problem. Maybe I could find, these kind of things make me think I could get back to the original paint underneath if I do some sanding. I'm sure there's some dents and stuff underneath this that I would uncover, but I don't know. I kind of like the color. It might look might look nice with like a yellow, orange, red, and white stripe on it somewhere that, like, you know, kind of comes down, bounces up, and goes over the top. You know, some kind of old retro bug Baja graphics. Thank you everyone for watching this episode of Bread Trucker Uncut and seeing and learning all about my new abandoned Volkswagen off-road Beetle project that's coming up on the Bread Trucker channel. This video was sponsored by Mill Supply. Mill Supply is your #1 source for Stepvan parts. For those of you who are doing a RV tiny home conversion out of a Stepvan or a bread truck, hit up Mill Supply. They are the place to go to get Stepvan parts. You can also find nearly any metal repair panel for your classic car restoration at millsupply.com. Go to millsupply.com and tell them the Bread Trucker sent you. Thank you all for watching this episode. I'm just about to leave Northern California and get into some new adventures. I'm heading east.